am joined by some lovely people. These people being our very own server host, DrCossack, and the person we know as Deadhead, Sora.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
So how are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing just great on my end. It's a nice Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Dead.
Well, that was to be expected.
Of course it is.
Getting you under the sun.
Well, tonight is, as Americans know, the day before Thanksgiving, and so I'm gonna go ahead and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving in advance. But we have some things to talk about tonight. And before that, I would like to thank Big Giant Circles, the people who wrote the music that you just heard, for that music. And let's move on. So tonight, we have one big thing is the Xbox One actually got something first, and it's a media streaming thing called Plex. It includes things like Twitch and Netflix, Hulu, those wonderful things. So I think it's actually good that Microsoft got something first. It's weird.
I've heard about Plex before, especially from mobile users. What's the main point of the app? Because I haven't looked at it in detail.
Well, what I've seen, it just kind of compiles everything that would be spread out, the different apps into one app. So I think it's neat.
Okay, sounds convenient.
Yeah.
Something convenient for Microsoft. That's new.
Yeah. Yet we all use Windows.
Do we really have a choice?
No. Well, moving on. Oh. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we do have a choice, but most of us just too lazy.
Yeah. Moving on from Microsoft actually being convenient, Smash Bros. Is out for the Wii U. And, for those of you that don't know, if you own Smash Bros. For the Wii and for the Wii U, you are eligible to get Mewtwo for free.
They just had to do a double release for Pokemon on a Friday, and even if they're Smash, the news are about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
And another thing from Nintendo, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is now out for Nintendo 3DS. I think all Pokemon are really just alike, even though I still love them all.
Yeah.
I haven't played the new Pokemon, but I've played Smash. It's a lot of fun so far. It's working quite well.
Yay. I've heard some complaints about it, that it gets a little laggy, but nothing really too inconvenient about it.
And especially if it's a new game that just launched with its online mode, so it probably take a few weeks to stabilize the server on Nintendo's side.
Yeah, but Nintendo, from what I've seen, Nintendo is fairly good about that.
Yeah, my initial impressions are definitely better than Brawl. Brawl Online is just slow to a crawl immediately, while this new game is running actually smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with that. You ever try to do an online 4-on-4 with 4 ice climbers?
I can't say I
I
have.
didn't dare try that. Just imagine it going very poorly.
Oh, yeah, that couldn't go well. Along with the release of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you can now, coming up, get a Wi-Fi event Beldum for that. And Sora has more of the details on that, so I'll let him explain.
So when they released the games on Friday, they also released a side-by-side Wi-Fi event for a free shiny Beldum from the in-game champion Steven. So, yeah, they give you an overpowered shiny right at the beginning of the game. Because nothing is like a new game like breaking it.
Yep. That's always the thing about Pokemon is there's a way to get overpowered very quickly, which I've always enjoyed myself. Because, let's see, I went into Pokemon Black, and with the ability to trade from other games, I just traded in, like, things like my Arceus from Pokemon Diamond when I got that from the event. So there's always a way to get there quickly.
Yeah.
So, as we talked about last month, I brought up a little bit about a university started offering scholarships for a League of Legends team, and it was based out of Chicago. And now more and more colleges, from what I've seen on the interwebs, have been offering those types of scholarships, and they're kind of neat. Some of them are from basic varsity sports scholarships all the way up to a full ride on just being able to play League of Legends.
Have they announced any other games that they'll support beyond League at this point, or they're just focused on that one?
They're currently focused on just League. If, in my opinion, I think soon they're going to expand to more games such as Dota 2, which is Dawn of the Ages 2. More team-oriented games that promote teamwork and sportsmanship, such as actual athletic events. So, any other thoughts on that?
I can just imagine League is probably a good choice to start, since it's got such a huge competitive scene right now, including the events that happened this summer. Everyone putting in more money into the pool. I think it proves there's a player base willing to get engaged. So they're doing a smart move.
Yeah. I myself play a lot of League on my downtime, or whenever I'm not playing on Creeper's Lab. It's a good game to waste your time on.
I just can't imagine how social circles are going to work in schools 20 years from now when video games are as high up there as basketball and football, and you have the nerds becoming jocks.
Oh, that... those will be the days.
Those will be very strange days.
True. So if nothing else on that, there are some server news. If you haven't noticed, which a lot of you have, Creeper's Lab Raw, which is a basic 1.8% survival, no protections, no plugins, opened up on October 14th, which was very close after our podcast last month. So I've loved it a lot. I play it more than I play survival nowadays, but some people think other thoughts on it. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, it's meant to be divisive because some people just don't want to leave their builds behind, others just want to upgrade to the latest thing, and that's the nice thing with having two servers, that the players are free to choose whichever one they just prefer. So if some aren't interested in the lawless land of raiding and no protections, they can just stick to the current server until it's ready to be upgraded. Others who want to play with the new shiny toys can do so immediately and don't have to wait the months or weeks or whatever time it will take until we're ready.
Yeah.
And then you have the players that join, dig down to the bottom, make a little base, and just hermit away down in the depths.
I live in a hole.
I live in a hole.
Don't you all do?
Hey.
I'm the only one. I built up instead of down on the new server.
I think that's a basic strategy for anybody that's playing Minecraft. Dig hole, acquire stuff later. Especially if it's night whenever you first log in. Because you're like, well, crap.
Well, that's the good point of having a starter town, is that you get some basic protection until you get really settled in. But it's true that the danger is still there because no lighting scheme is perfect and you can have some surprising encounters sometimes.
AKA Mojang messes up.
Yeah.
I personally on Raw, I've just felt like a bug tester because I have had almost every possible bad thing happen to me. Like the day I created a portal and I made sure I had them linked up, and it just kind of cast me into a giant pit of lava. No portal, just lava.
I just wanted to give you a warm welcome.
But I already had one.
We just
Oh, you
gotta do it
just
like
do?
the Romans did it. Just make a bunch of roads everywhere.
Yeah, no. That's too much effort. Especially whenever there's a possibility of having things jump over and still kill you, aka creepers. So, moving on from that, you guys can still hear me, right?
Totally do.
Okay, it suddenly got quiet. I didn't hear Sora's feedback. Now moving on to survival things that happened recently. The End of Time got an update from our other Blue Pants, Sven, who has been maintaining that.
Actually, it's been a shared work for the new network. I did two of the new teleportation rooms. Sora built a large tower which is called the Keep of Time, and then Sven did a few modifications around the way to make everything work together.
Alright. I like it. I mean, there are obviously there are some bugs with it, aka I spawn in the floors. But that as time moves on, it'll probably get fixed, or more things will get tweaked.
Yeah, that's part of the way things go. We had the same problem with the initial network for the End of Time, because portals don't tend to react the same if you teleport to coordinates or if you have a command block teleporting you to a given position. So it will just be off by one block, but if there's a wall at that block, it will push you off, and then you get just strange stuff happens. So if any of you encounter such a portal that doesn't seem to drop you at the right position, just tell me. I'll correct it right away.
So I guess this is me telling you, yeah, I keep spawning in the floor using the End of Time.
Yeah, but you need to tell me which portal is doing that, because I did the math the other day and there are actually 50 teleports now. So I'm not going to test them one by one until you find me which one is broken.
I'll let you know on that later. And finally,
Okay.
for Minecraft-based talk, unless we get off topic, most likely going to happen. There, along with a mention of a Spigot update, this was left off because it just happened. Forge officially released an update for Minecraft 1.8 and 1.8.1, which means there is now a possible chance for the modding community to go ahead and make mods for that for Minecraft 1.8.
Yeah, that's definitely an important step, because 1.8 has been out for quite some time already. It was basically the biggest update in Minecraft's history. So even for modders and everyone else, it's a big step to take. So that's why it took a while. But now at least modders can start working on their new plans, and hopefully give us a few new fun game modes to play with.
For
And that should
what?
hopefully help scare the DMC gave them.
Yeah. with that DMCA, there was talk about a spigot update getting released, and a bucket update getting released. I highly doubt that, because it's Wednesday and I haven't seen any update. But there's still a few more days.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's rumors and people interpreting tweets, and there's only so much you can say in 140 characters. So whatever is going to happen, I don't know. In either case, I just want to make it clear, if there's a Spigot update coming out soon, it will take a while still before I upgrade the server to whatever is available, because the first builds will obviously be unstable, and I don't want to risk losing any data on the server related to that. So I'm going to wait until others find out the bugs, run it through, and things really get stable.
Yeah. Because most likely, if they do release an update this week, it'll be open server install crash, 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 crash.
Just like 1.6.
Yeah. 1.6
Oh, yeah,
was
that
a good
wasn't
time. 1.6 was a great time. Plus they got
It
it.
wasn't very fun to do on the admin side either.
Well,
I
it's
remember
all.
those zombies.
Yeah. Doc, I thought it was always fun for you. You're not allowed to complain.
Well, it's because some updates go smoother than others. 1.7 was expected to be a bit tricky due to some of the internals changing, but it went mostly fine. 1.8 is obviously going to be hell because everything ever changed. And then 1.6 was a tricky case because it looked fine during my tests. I played it alone on my local test server. Everything just played smooth. Then I upgraded the core server, everyone logged in, and then people started getting killed for going through nether portals. So that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
And then we had the horde zombies, and then the feather holding zombies that started gathering on the ground everywhere.
You're holding eggs and just looking at you and just total mess.
I wasn't around for that, but I can only guess it was really terrible.
Well, the point is the server slowed down, and we couldn't even find out why for a while. That's not so fun.
We had no idea why everything was slowing down. Even the people with the monster computers could barely play because things would go at like 2 frames per minute.
Even now, on one point. Oh.
Yeah?
Even now, because I have a base that is fun to live in, everything is redstone. I still only get 2 frames per second around there.
Well, on that front, it's basically your fault. As long as you're not slowing down the entire server, well, just have to deal with it.
Hey,
If we had to make a comparison, back in 1.6, the lag was just about as bad as if you were by the Creeper's Bazaar when everybody was using it all the time.
oh, I was around during that. Yeah, that was more like lag crash, lag crash, lag crash. Heck, even still, when I use the bazaar to trade stuff, I'll sometimes lag or crash out of the game. But that's just because I have
That
a
is-
terrible computer.
That's already.
Yeah.
That's why I warn people whenever they start going too much redstone stuff. It's like, watch it. You might run into problems later on if you do it too much.
And with chicken farms, you just kill them.
Oh, chicken farms can just burn.
You remember the 700 chickens?
I do.
Unfortunately, that was my fault.
No, it was yours, and then someone else, and then someone else doing it again, and then a third party, and just lots of chickens.
And then
Muffins.
muffins. I actually never heard the muffin story. What did muffins do?
Well, no,
Oh, all the chickens.
Yeah,
ever.
just yeah. Basically, he did 2 or 3 underground automated chicken farms that ran wild. So uncontrolled chickens spawning by themselves. And he did it under Central's residential district. So right within range of the spawn point. So people would get to Central and then immediately basically freeze to death. I could move around, but just closer to the farms themselves, it was impossible to move around. Like I was getting one image update every 30 seconds. And I've got a decent computer. So if even I can't move that much, there's just too many chickens. I tried to break in and burn it all with lava to bring things back under control.
At least it's not as bad as when wind turned the air into potatoes.
I wasn't around for that one.
I
Shame.
think I might have been around for that. Didn't he region?
Oh, well, he did it on accident the first time, and it pretty much crashed him, Mia, Hemo, and somebody else. And they got frozen on the screen of just potatoes raining down from the sky, so they had to replicate it. So they teleported out to the middle of nowhere. He selected a giant area, and then turned the air into potatoes. It lagged so hardcore that they had to be teleported out, and then even then, for 20 minutes afterwards, their plants wouldn't load.
Oh wow!
And that's of our potato ring.
Yep, that's where it came from, actually.
Yeah, okay. I was around for that. I know.
I have to
I was
I've
around.
got this when they were pulled out of the potato rain. Their player models kind of fused, and it was like half media skin and half wind skin. It was kind of terrifying.
It's unlike anything else. The most terrifying thing you can do is wear a Sora head. Especially if they put it on like a dressed character, then it gets really freaky. I have screenshots of that somewhere.
The only thing better than that is when I wear someone else's head, because I have the second layer of my skin over it still, so you have the pumpkin face over whatever their head was.
Yeah.
That does some pretty nice effects.
Skins.
I'm good to agree with you on that one.
Minecraft 1.7 skins and the overlays are just interesting. They're
1.8's actually placed player heads or keep the same player.
Yeah, I know. I know that because I got a banned player's head in 1.8 because of Thank You Cat.
I'll see my head there now.
Probably not. Well, I think we've got about just as topic there as we can. We've hit around the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to take this time and let Sora do his halftime performance, or his sports section as he requested. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and let him take over for that.
Alrighty. So basically what I'm going to do in this time is once every podcast I'm going to introduce a new, well not new, I'm going to introduce an existing event that we have on the server, so like an attraction or an event that is hooked up to the end of time for event night, just to give some more exposure to the events and let people know where they are and how they work. So this podcast's event will be the chess arena. I'm not biased on that at all. Chess arena is located in Mintropolis. You can get to it through Doc. What is the name of that port?
Sorry, what was the question?
The name of the port for Mintropolis from the end of time.
It's Mintropolis.
From the end of time, how do you get to that port?
Oh, you get it from the Misc attractions section from the end of time itself, which throws you in the tower. Then you take the Mintropolis door.
Mintrop's on the first floor, right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So the TARDIS will spit you out directly left of it, and the building that's checkered to your right, to your left, will be the chess arena. The chess arena has 3 floors. The first floor has rule books, armor, and other misc items to play the middle level games. The middle level of the chess arena has 2 separate game modes that you can play with multiple people. The first game mode is a 4x4 board. It needs 4 players. Basically, with this mode, all 4 of you are queens, and you have to try and take each other out. The second mode takes 10 people, and it's just a smaller, condensed version of normal chess game in which the players are the pieces. There's signs on the board to let you know what position each piece starts on, and then that person keeps track of which piece they are. There's armor on the first floor to determine who's who on what side, so red and black, just so people don't get confused. Then the top floor of the arena has the main chess game, which is just a normal thing of chess. It uses player heads as chess pieces and is moved around by the referee, who keeps track of all the movements. The 2 players sit in podiums at either end of the arena, and there's a viewing area to keep people off of the board if they want to watch. And basically, it's just normal chess from that. We did find that you can play it just normally in the game, but it can get a little bit confusing just so we recommend some sort of voice tool like maybe Skype or Mumble if you want to try playing it with multiple people.
May I quickly add that after this podcast section of the podcast, we will continue to stream the contest tonight, which is chess, as he said earlier.
Yeah. So my point
I've been required to play.
Yeah. Just a little thing where Doc has been undefeated in chess so far, so we'll have a bunch of people try to fight him. But as Mikey said, after each podcast, whatever we go to the stream, we'll have mini event with it afterwards, and we'll be streaming as well.
Yep. Well, I'm back from my break, as you obviously heard. Doc probably didn't leave. So, moving on, this section is for Doc, but if you looked at creeperslab.com today, we had an update / news post, and I'll let him explain that.
Yes, so we've decided, looking at things that we've got, the Creepers Lab is present on several social networks, and we want more people to use them. And as well, we managers of their various accounts want to get more involved as well. So we'll be posting more on these places, using it more. So if you don't know, the Creepers Lab is already present on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitch, of course, Twitter, YouTube, the forums that have been running for years now, and we're introducing tonight a group on Reddit and a Steam group as well. So the players can follow them, each one as a target, of course. Like Instagram is more focused on images, Twitch is more focused on videos, Facebook is everything related to the community. So if you have any of these accounts, I highly suggest that you follow us. You can check the website. The latest update will list exactly the accounts, give the addresses, and what kind of content you can expect on each one. And if you have any questions or comments, we welcome them, of course. The social networks are there for you. So if you want to get involved, if you have suggestions on what we should post, provide more content, or even make submissions yourself, please do.
Well, see, I follow Twitter for Creepers Lab and Instagram and Facebook, except I don't use Facebook like at all. But I use the forums about every day, and I have no idea why, but I do. So
the forums are a favorite of mine because they've been running for years, and we can communicate about Minecraft stuff, of course, but any other topics that people are interested in. And it's especially convenient if we want to send private messages to contact someone where they're not in the game, or post images, or get ideas, or stuff like that, because it's really easy to get a discussion going.
Yeah.
And Doc's not bothered at all with that, creating it.
Heh, heh, shush.
No comment.
Um, moving on, one thing I forgot to tell you guys before the break is that following this in these next couple of weeks, I believe the build period, or not build period, more like tear down period, is starts next week. But this is Anonymous so far's special sculpting contest that I've seen a lot about. I'm interested in it. And it just seems like a lot of fun. Finally, a contest that Sal will be able to compete in.
But, for those who haven't heard, we're running a contest where you've got a 15 by 15 by 15 block of a given material that you must remove blocks out to form a sculpture of sorts. There are limited places, so everyone's interested should probably contact Anonymous as early as possible. The building part of the contest itself, or block removing, I should say, will be starting this weekend, and you'll have a week to get your entries done. So you might want to start thinking of ideas already.
Hey,
And also claim spots.
Also claim a lot, of course. You can do that right now.
I did mine earlier this week. So, sandstone for the wind. It's probably all gonna break. Okay. If you haven't heard, Intel starts buckling to the anti-feminist campaign by pulling ads that were oriented towards females from gaming sites. So basically, they're going for the male race from now on, or that's what it looks like at least.
Anything that involves competitions like that's always a tricky issue, since you need to target your audience. Obviously, you want to target some people more than others, but it's on the presentation. I mean, just in my office today, receive an email. We're looking for feedback from our employees, but only the female employees. It was, of course, it makes sense to ask, but you need to have the proper wording to ask people, because otherwise it just looks like raw discrimination.
Yeah.
I think it could become a big problem, especially for Intel. Just watching Twitch, I see a lot of female streamers, and so it'll probably hurt their future business with the female gender later down the road.
Personally, I applaud them on it.
Oh,
Way too easily days. And nobody can can make any sort of action without offending someone.
Yeah.
And then it's totally incorrect to leave offended.
yeah, but that's gonna happen anywhere. Someone's gonna get offended. If I started putting out a burger and fry shack down the road and said it's only for males, so someone's gonna get offended. Or if I said everyone's welcome, even then somebody's gonna get offended.
You put a burger and fry shop down the road, you're going to offend the vegans.
Actually, I would never do that
Got a
because
point.
I am a vegetarian. Thank you very much.
Well, then that was a very bad example, now wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But it smells like
Just go to
Thanksgiving
the
in my
lemonade
house.
stand. You can get quarters by selling lemonade.
Okay, well, let's go with. I definitely would not want to open a lemonade stand with Sora. Mostly because orphans. But, yeah.
Shh.
Shh.
Don't talk about that.
Oh, okay. I should know that.
Could add something there, but I don't think that would be very appropriate.
Yeah, I might
Nope.
have to kick you in the face later for it if you said it too. So I'm approaching the point of wrapping up this part of the podcast. We've gone through everything on the topics, unless you guys have a last minute thing to add.
Oh man, yes. I actually got a request after the first podcast from someone who wanted to hear something from my absolutely sultry voice. which I think is a lot of crap, but anyway. I was asked to say live on the stream, omelette du fromage. Because for whatever reason, people always want to hear omelette du fromage. Pronounced in French, of course. But there's the thing. I'll say it one last time. Omelette du fromage. There's the thing. That's actually wrong. In French, you don't say omelette du fromage. You want to say omelette au fromage. Because that's the appropriate article to use. So that's au, which is written AU. So if you go to a French restaurant and want to try to sound fancy by getting an omelette for breakfast, you want to order an omelette au fromage.
Okay.
And that is all.
I think that was about the most random thing I've heard about in my entire lifetime. So
Maybe, but as I said, that's a reply for requests I actually got, and I'm all too happy to please everyone.
he's a
Michael,
people
we can
pleaser.
fix that.
Yeah, so it's omelette au fromage?
Au fromage.
Au fromage.
I'm not going to even try pronouncing that because I can only speak pumpkin.
Well,
I'm
obviously,
not going to try to say it in pumpkin.
obviously you're speaking English, because we understand you, Pumpkin.
Pumpkin is whatever I feel like it is. There are
Alright.
no typos.
All the typos. But this is really the end of this part of the podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and start migrating stuff over. There will be a short break right here. So I'm going to start migrating stuff, turn music back on, and do all that fun stuff. So, yeah.
And chess will follow after this for those who would like to join us in Mintropolis on the survival server.
Yep.
Or if anybody wants to try to fight, take it.
I
Please, someone take this title.
personally, I'm not going to participate in the chess because I'm just flat out terrible at chess. So, if anybody wants to participate, come on and participate because we're gonna need people. I just fell through the floor. Sora, what do? Okay.
I see you on the ledge. I don't not see you through the floor.
Okay.
But yeah, anyone who's listening, go ahead and head over to the chess arena. You can get to it on the bottom floor of Nether Central. It's at the first stop, the Lemuria. How do you pronounce that? Lemuria subportal, sub-hub. Or you could just take the Southern Expressway straight to it. It's literally right when you walk into the city.
Alright. So, I'm going to take a small break. I'm gonna turn music on, and I'll tell you guys. I'll unmute you whenever I need to unmute you. So, there.
Alright, thank you for joining us tonight.
See you.
Yeah, bye.